Wife had unprotected sex with multiple men. Hi everyone, I never thought I'd be posting here. Me 31 male and my wife 27 female have been together about 6 years. We have a 5-year-old daughter. English isn't our first language, so sorry for any mistakes. For the last few months, my wife started acting differently. She kept rejecting intimacy, and for about 3 months we only had sex maybe 1 to 2 times a month. I tried talking to her multiple times, but she always said nothing was wrong. Then one day, after I pushed for answers, she said she doesn't see a point in continuing our relationship and that we're more like friends. This actually happened once before about 2 years ago. Back then, I worked hard to improve myself and our relationship. Since then we bought a house 6 months ago, renovated it, bought furniture, and even went on holidays to 2 countries. I thought we were rebuilding. Hearing this again destroyed me. After a few days of barely speaking, I told her I wanted to try one last time. She agreed. We talked about what each of us needed and promised to work on things. A couple of days later, a friend told me he saw my wife getting dropped off by a van a few streets away from our house. He couldn't see who was driving. I confronted her, and she said she didn't know what I was talking about. The next week, she went to her course every Tuesday. She texted saying she had an exam and would be home around 10 p.m. When she came back, she said she went for drinks with a female friend. That night she initiated intimacy, which hadn't happened in a long time. I thought maybe things were finally improving. 2 days later, I noticed a £33 charge on our joint account from an online doctor. I didn't know what it was, so I actually used ChatGPT to ask what that kind of charge usually is. It said it was most likely for a morning after pill. I thought maybe I was overthinking. The next day, when taking out the trash, I found the morning after pill package. I completely broke down. I confronted her. She said it wasn't hers and claimed it belonged to her friend, who drives her to the course. I told her to call that friend and confirm it, or we're done. She refused, saying she promised not to tell. So I said we're divorcing. The next day, we started filing for divorce online. We just bought this house and put everything into it. Neither of us can afford it alone. It's a complete mess. While doing the paperwork, she used ChatGPT on her laptop. I noticed she was logged into her account and saw history related to the morning after pill. That night, after she went to bed and I slept on the couch, I opened her laptop and looked through her ChatGPT history. What I found broke me. For about 3 hours I read everything and took photos. She had been chatting with multiple men, sexting, planning meetups, talking about FaceTiming while I was at work. There were at least 4 regular contacts plus others. She was using ChatGPT to rephrase messages in English and to help reply to these men. She wrote about having sex with different men, sometimes multiple in the same day, unprotected. She talked about men finishing inside her and whether she should take a morning after pill. She wrote that she had sex 2 days ago and was planning to do it again. All while coming home to me and our daughter. Throughout our relationship, she always made me feel like I was the problem. That I wasn't enough. Now I see she was living a double life. I feel destroyed, angry, numb, and lost. I don't even know where to start, emotionally, legally, or financially. I guess I'm posting to ask. How do you even begin to process this? Any advice for protecting myself legally and financially? How do I stay strong for my daughter? My Christian girlfriend was taken advantage of and raped. Hi male, 23, my girlfriend is female, 23. We're both studying and doing our OJTs, last one, and after this we are expecting to graduate together. She recently confessed that she made a mistake. One of her co-students is a guy from the same school. A week ago, we had a fight or a cool-off. She said she felt guilty about the guy giving her jacket cause she felt cold and received it. At that moment she returned back the jacket cause the guy said something weird and flirty. For us it's a normal thing to fight for a few days and that's not really a major fight. I gave her space and we returned back to each other at Friday. But that Friday hits a lot for us. She suddenly felt avoidant of me and feels like she is unworthy and shameful. I didn't know and she wouldn't want to tell me, so I gave her time and asked her the day after. Then Saturday the day after came, she confessed that she had been assaulted by the guy. What happened that Friday noon is that the guy invited her to make their presentation at his house, and as she thought about it, she said yes because the guy is a Catholic and preaches verses. The other guy has always been a professional and she saw no reason that time to say no. Thinking that it would be also about the presentation only. She then was asked if maybe she'd like to change clothes, so she did cause the guy was supposedly professional. During that time, the guy tried to make a move on her against her will. She's feeling dizzy and the guy knows she's under her menstruation that time, so he take advantage of her weakness and forced a kiss by grabbing her neck. My girlfriend tried to retaliate, but she's weak and because of her body autonomy she cannot resist the kiss. The guy then does other stuff, raped her. My girlfriend fought her best and did not let him insert his to her. She might not be able to stop everything, but after all of it what she felt was a sense of emptiness and worry about us. While she was trying her best to tell me everything, she's crying and ashamed and guilty about everything. She said that it was her fault for being blind and not thinking more about it before doing so and going into that situation thinking that nothing can happen cause she trusted the guy. She tried to end this at first without telling me cause she knows I would be hurt, but I deserve the truth, so she tells me everything expecting that I would leave her. I decided to stay because knowing her, I know for sure that all of this is the fruit of fatigue, lack of thinking, a mistake, and a fuckboy. That for sure I know. When she told me that during that time she asked him why would he do that and that she don't like it. But the guy said only to her was these praises, it was expected, because you came to my place, consent is not needed, you protect me and I'll protect you too, feels like he's trying to shush her. It happened already so I can't do anything. I decided to stay because I deemed it not her full mistake, because there would never be a rape or a sexual assault if the guy just did what he proposed when she invited her to his place. Which is to prepare for the presentation. What I felt all throughout this was mixed emotions. It would not happen if she just think carefully and did not go there fully aware that they'd be alone, together. It feels like shit to know that suddenly the princess that you were taking care of suddenly got touched by some other guy. But it would not be nice to left her like this, broken, and unsure of what really happened. Having the conclusion that she's a dirty and shameful woman. She just made a mistake and paid for it, but my love for her could not withstand this. It doesn't have to mean that just because she went there is that she also wanted what happened. She can't do anything about it since they're on professional field and there's only 2 months left and could not risk to jeopardize her graduation. She feels sorry about everything and now are trying to work with them more professionally and ignoring the guy's attempts to flirt with her, sweet talks, and trying her best to focus only to the work. We hated the guy so much and this felt like a shared burden that God had given us to strengthen our relationship. I want to tear the guy to shreds or do some revenge, but man. It's hard for me to do, for my belief that revenge should not be put by my hands but to the hands of my Creator. I tried to find comfort through the Bible and the stable presence and support that I want to give her because I want to be a good husband. She's doing her best to get through this. I know that this is hard for her, so if she wants to choose peace, I'd have to be the one to choose patience more for her and for the love of God that He bestowed upon me. My girlfriend kissed a guy in a club, immediately left and told me how sorry she was about it. My girlfriend, 24, is currently in a study abroad program in Europe. She left a month ago and she will return to town in 4 months. Even before I asked her to be my GF, we talked about the future we would like to build together, get married, have kids, etc., and our goals were aligned since the beginning. We have known each other since we were very young because both our families are members of the same church, so everything felt right since the first date, and I never felt love like this in my entire life. I'm 2 years older than her. We became boyfriend, girlfriend 5 months ago. Last week she went partying with her friends to a club. Hours later, she told me that she had a terrible night, that she got extremely drunk and a guy kissed her. She told me this with a broken heart, and she did say she was so sorry for letting such a thing to happen. I immediately thought that no guy would kiss a girl if there were no positive signs from the girl he wants to kiss, and I told her that she must have done something for the guy to kiss her. She told me that they were dancing with a group of friends, the guy asked her to go with him for some drinks and that after the drinks they started to dance. My GF claims that she did this, one, without thinking this was incorrect. She now acknowledges this, and 2, while being very drunk. She couldn't think straight forward. While they were dancing, the guy kissed her, and when this happened, she realized what was going on. She immediately left the club, went back to her apartment and told me about this. She apologized for being drunk and for making such small decisions that weren't necessarily bad, but ultimately led her into being exposed with the guy. She could have refused to go and get drinks with him, she could have stopped drinking, she could have pushed him away, etc. She claims that she never had the intention of doing such thing with him or with anyone else, that she feels like she is becoming a bad person because of the friends she has made in her study abroad program, and that her #1 priority is fixing our relationship. She even told me that she is seriously considering quitting the program in order to come back to town and fix what we have. I have no doubts that her intentions of fixing this are real and that she is truly sorry for everything, but I feel like a part of me died the day that she told me about this. I get that you can get really drunk and make stupid decisions, but the idea of her letting all of this happen is just really difficult for me to process at the moment. She also said that she has contacted her psychologist in order to work on herself and make sure she can be the best version of herself in order to rebuild trust and be the best GF future wife for me. I know these things might look like drastic measures to not lose me, but she was indeed struggling with emotions, depression, anxiety a few months before she left for Europe, so this does sound like a genuine attempt to better herself and strengthen our relationship. I want to forgive her. I have seen many videos that say, cheaters will always cheat, but I don't know if this is the case. She did break my trust and she did hurt my feelings, but it wasn't more than a kiss that the guy initiated, it wasn't an affair with a guy that she genuinely had interested in, etc. I am trying to see the positive side of this. I know that our trust can be rebuilt if we both put in the effort, but I don't know if I should do this as I feel really sad, disappointed and ultimately let down by the person I love the most. Any comments are welcome so I can think of this from a different perspective.